Okay, so I'm delighted to have with me today Melissa Dunkle from Dow. Thank you so much for joining us today. Melissa is chairing and also speaking in the PEFTEC conference, which takes place online on the 24th and the 25th of November this year. This year it will be a virtual event, and then next year it'll be a hybrid event, mixture of online and back to reality, hopefully. So Melissa, again, thanks for joining me. And I wonder if you could briefly describe, I understand you're involved with two short courses, both involved with GC/GC or two-dimensional GC. I wonder if you could briefly describe what those sessions will entail and hopefully encourage people to come.
Certainly, Graham. Thank you so much for having me here. I really appreciate the opportunity to give some promotion to this short course. It's going to be split between the 2 days. So on day 1, we have PH and Benedict, who are going to talk about fundamentals and data evaluation and chemometrics. So really kind of the basics that you need to know on GC/GC or comprehensive GC. And on day 2, you have Anupam and myself who are going to focus on some of the different detector technologies as well as applications for the petrochemical industry. So I think we're going to cover a broad range of applications for beginners to more advanced users of the technique. And I think this would be something that anyone could attend who is interested in learning about GC/GC or learning about some of the applications that we're using with the technique. Can be anyone from industry to academics. I think you're going to find something useful from this short course.
And I guess since it's online, then anyone from anywhere around the world can join in. I know it's free to subscribe. They won't need to book a hotel or an airplane. So yeah, I would imagine that the event is going to be much larger than usual because of the number of people that can now just join in.
And that would be wonderful if it is.
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing I wanted to mention was with regard to the platform. Once people are registered, they'll be provided with the contact detail. Well, they'll see a list of everyone else that's registered, as well as all of the exhibitors. And then, a bit like a dating app, I suppose, they'll have the opportunity to connect with people. So it's kind of a networking event as well. So they can send a request to somebody, and this might be a speaker who hasn't had time to respond to their questions during the formal session. They'll be able to connect with that speaker, or indeed one of the exhibitors who manufactures a technology that they're interested in, and ask to connect. And then that person will say, yes, I accept your suggestion. I was going to say proposal, perhaps that's the wrong word. And then once they're connected, then they can arrange to have a meeting or do a demonstration or just simply ask the question and have the question answered. So that'll be a useful tool for you when you're in the chair to be able to say, sorry, we haven't answered all the questions, but still ask your questions and we'll feed them through into that process.
Well, that sounds excellent. I know we also don't always have time to answer all of the questions in such a platform. So to know that there is a way to connect, that sounds really wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, it works really well. Okay, that's great. And now, Melissa, I understand you're also giving a presentation on day 2 in the recycling session. I wonder if you could give us a flavor of what the presentation will include.
Certainly. So it's going to be using GC VUV, so with the vacuum ultraviolet detector. Over the years, we have been developing a method, first focusing more on fossil-based feeds. We published an article in 2018 on that work. I'm going to talk a little bit about how we first developed that method and then how we then modified that method to analyze pyrolysis oils coming from mixed waste plastics and some of the considerations that we needed to include in our method in our spectral library compared to, say, the fossil-based materials. So it's going to combine 2 different publications that we have published over the years on the GCVUV technology.
Okay, so and what's the big picture here? There's increasing talk about plastics analysis and recycling and circular economy and that kind of thing, which I didn't hear so much of in previous PEFTECs. is there an evolving situation here?
I think especially in Europe, you are always seeing little tidbits in the news about the waste plastics problem. And Dow, as an industrial partner, also wants to contribute to the solution. And so as a PE producer, we can be contributing to the plastic waste that's out there. And if we can take that material and recycle, reuse in any way, shape, or form, then we need to be doing our part. So I think that you're going to see that in the panel discussion as well. Not only Dow, but other industrial partners are worried about this and working on solutions.
Sounds great. I should mention that to people watching this, that Melissa's involved at several stages throughout the conference, and she won't be able to relax at all because, as she said, she's also involved in the panel discussion, which will be on plastic recycling and petrochemistry challenges, and she'll be co-chairing that with Christopher Ruger, and Christopher will be talking about that in a subsequent video. But anyway, for the moment, thank you so much for your time, Melissa. It's lovely to meet you online, and I really look forward to watching the sessions.
Thank you so much, and thank you for inviting me to help promote some of the wonderful things that are going to happen at PEFTEC this year.
You're very welcome.